Welcome back, Hunter. Looking good out there.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're Easy Allies. We're here to talk about Monster Hunter Wilds, baby.
Wilds.
I got to play it for, I don't know, like 5 or 6 hours.
So like 5 minutes in Monster Hunter time.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 missions in. It's interesting because like mostly today I'm going to be talking about, broad stroke stuff. I'm not going to really talk about any story stuff.
Cool.
Because, better for you to experience that on your own. But new region, weather stuff, very cool. The weather effects are really cool. We'll get into it. Like mid-battle, like a sandstorm comes through or a flood comes through, and you're just like, oh, baby. Like, this
fun.
I mean, the TLDR is it's good.
Yes.
It's real good. You could have on your secrete, the like chocobo, you can have a second weapon, so like you can swap weapons, You can sharpen while riding. It takes getting used to because they kind of autopilot. You can steer them, but they walk where they want to go, which like sometimes gets a little squirrely. But like the upside to that is, the monster's moving to another location. You hop on your secrete and you're just sharpening and healing and doing like demon powders and stuff while you're riding.
I love that.
So I can see why they did it like that.
I just realized with 2 weapons too, I'm already like itching to just like build my arsenal.
Yeah.
Because instead of like commit,
those
ingredients sometimes take a long time to like get
yeah.
really high up on the tiers. So if you're now having to make like 2 weapons, like oh my god.
It felt I was so conflicted, because like there are some of these monsters that I'll get into in a minute, but like the outfits were so good. And I'm like, I'm putting in all this time, and I was like thinking and like wish listing stuff, at a preview event in the equipment thing to be like, okay, I want to get 2 more parts of that from this crazy spider thing so I can finish this thing. I'm like, what am I doing? I
can't keep any of this.
I can't keep any of this. Like, I'm going to start a different save in 4 hours at the preview event and just lose all of this. But yeah, anyways, so dang, it's, it starts off, it's story heavy as Monster Hunter goes, it's you're
front loaded.
It's front loaded, which is cozy and nice, and like there's a lot of stuff about like very, very broad strokes. There's a lot of stuff about like the indigenous people of the area and stuff like that, and it's really interesting stuff and a cool story. And then of course you're going on these hunts, and like it's structured, like kind of a tutorial hunt, and then like you'll go and do like research.
You were getting
like,
me so hyped. Oh my
dude,
god.
it's so good. You'll go like, standard like Monster Hunter world where you like then there's a quest where you're following tracks and you're like, oh, there's a thing. Like, what's the thing? And then that leads to a different thing and blah blah blah. But the environments are so good. The vibes are so good.
Does it look better than the last time we saw it, you think, at all?
Yeah, I think it looks... Playing it...
Because sometimes I notice that at previews, you'll see it like 6 months later, and it's like,
whoa. It ran way better.
Nice.
Like, the footage you're looking at is my footage. It was playing on graphics preference mode. I had the option to switch it, but nothing was really making me notice that it wasn't chugging really. Yeah. It wasn't bothering me. I'm a little less sensitive to it maybe than Huber is, but like at home I usually put things on performance unless it looks so grody.
Yeah.
But like, I kept it in graphics mode the whole time.
Nice.
And it seemed fine to me, and it looked really good. The human character models look really good.
And the food.
The food looks very good. Your character talks a lot more than in previous games, and there's voice acting and all that. The character designs are all really cool. Like, I really like the way the characters look. Not just because they're all hot.
they
look kind of gay. Like, not
cool.
just because of that, but like they're all really neat.
The palicos.
The palicos look great.
Insane.
You meet some like other little like Lillifans, or what are they called? The whatever. You meet the like native little cat palico guys, and they're hilarious.
That's awesome.
They're wonderful. Anyways, then there's the fights, and the fights are so cool. The main new mechanic for this, because like in Rise you had the kind of like grappling stuff or whatever, the wire bug. in this, that's not there, but the weak points system
Yeah, it sounds sick.
is awesome.
I'm
And
busting every monster's kneecaps.
oh my god, yeah, dude.
Going kneecaps.
Dude, like, there was a point where I was fighting a spider. maybe my favorite fight in this, because the clothes that you get from it are so beautiful. It's like a bloodborne. It's like a dress that like is white and then goes red, like it's like soaked in blood.
Dude,
and I'm like, oh my
yes,
god, like
yes.
everything looked so goth and hot. Like, anyway. And the hat was like straight up like a bloodborne tricorn.
my
I was like the
You're like, they knew.
the armor designers are snacking on this, man. They ate. But like anyway, weak points, like on the spider, you know, if there are places that you attack a lot, it'll start like to have, if you do focus mode, which is I think L1 or L2 maybe, and then it'll glow like kind of reddy orange. And you can stab it. I was using the insect glaive. I'm not sure how it is on the other weapons, but with the insect glaive, you stab it and then pull back and jump out and then like yank on it with a cable. And it's really awesome because it does a lot of like little stagger on the beast.
Yeah.
But also you'll often get like a material for doing it, for like breaking that part,
Love
for like
that.
hitting the weak point.
Yeah.
So it really incentivizes
You want to do it.
hitting the weak points, but it also so it hits it huge HP hit, and you often get a material for it, and it makes it feel so rewarding.
Yeah.
And
What's the risk of doing it? Is there?
you just have to get in close to do it, and
Okay.
depending on your weapon, you know, that may or may not be. Actually, I don't know. The bow, I assume, can do it from a distance. But I didn't try the bow in the preview event. I just stuck to the insect glaive.
Yeah.
I stuck with what I know, even though it's one of the more complicated weapons. But like, yeah. And so, you know, it's really rewarding, and it really encourages you to engage with it. I found the wire bug stuff like maybe more complicated than it needed to be.
Okay.
You know? Like once I
Little bit
got
of a learning
once I
curve
got
there.
yeah, there was a learning curve, but once I got used to it, I was like, okay, sick, yeah. But like this is pretty immediately you're like, okay, got it. And
Yeah.
like everyone at the preview event, even people who'd never played Monster Hunter were doing it. They were
Nice.
engaging with that system. And that I think for like the central like new gimmick or whatever, one of them for the game, I think that's a strong kind of a thing, an indication that they've kind of like they're refining Monster Hunter,
Yeah.
you know? Like it is iterative, but it also is like everyone they're trying a new thing, and
Yeah.
it's related to the kind of the area and all that stuff. Yeah, so let's talk about the fights that I got into. Lalabarina was the one, the spider one. The story setup for it is really cool. I won't talk about that, but she is like a crazy spider with paralytic attacks. Looks like a big rose. Like her back part can open up, and it's like a flower, and it
So
shoots
sick.
like paralyzing agent
Dude.
everywhere. It is so
Rogue Legacy.
awesome.
It's
And
awesome.
like can crawl on the ceiling, like real nasty too.
Ugh.
Like the monsters in this like are kind of gross sometimes.
Cool.
Like
I
obviously,
know. I feel like in Wilds and Iceborne, they're all just like gorgeous, like,
yeah,
beautiful.
Like most of them are like, I don't want to kill this thing.
Yeah.
Some of them are yeah, like pretty gnarly. Like the Balahara's got some like kind of gross stuff going on. Kongalala's just farting all over the place, like a big gorilla kind of thing. Deshaguma.
Shaguma.
It's interesting because there's VO, like constant VO.
Shaguma.
And so I've always-
Shatide.
Well, yeah, I've always called it Doshaguma.
Huh.
And I'm like, oh, I guess it's Doshaguma.
Oh, there it is.
It's like I've been saying that wrong. Yeah, but it all led up to Uthduna. It was like one of
Uthduna.
those bigger monsters with a repel quest. And it's cool because it you know, it really positions you in with these characters, and like they're all involved a lot. And so like the story seems like it's going to be kind of maybe a more present kind of element of the first half of the game.
Yeah, because Wild and Iceborne, the story wasn't bad, but it definitely felt like a vehicle for the hunts.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. And
Yeah.
obviously this is that as well.
Yeah.
But like it felt cool. Like a lot of
Yeah.
the times, again, I'm not really trying to talk too much about the story, but like there are parts where you're like riding in and you
Yeah.
feel like kind of a hero because you're like
Some like fellowship vibes.
Yeah, for
going
sure,
in.
for
Look to the
sure.
east at first light.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I feel like I could talk about it for a long time, but also, like, the brass tacks are just like, it's looking good, it's playing well.
Yep.
Like, when we played it at Gamescom, it crashed a bunch, you know, and just in the intervening months, like, it was solid as a rock. Like, it felt great. Everything was running well. Like, I didn't even really notice any issues, really.
Yeah.
And you know, again, I'm a little less sensitive to like frame rate dips and stuff than some people are, but like I didn't notice really any. Then again, I could be wrong on that, but it was seeming really good.
Did they hype up the the pro patch or anything?
They didn't talk about that. They didn't talk about that at all.
I'm like interested to know like how many devs like are like so invested in that, if they take the time to talk about it, or if it's just like an afterthought.
This was I will say, not for any reason, but this was the first game that I was like, maybe I should get a pro.
Flex it
just
for a while.
Yeah, just like cause, you know, because it looked so good.
Yeah.
It was like the opposite reason. It wasn't.
I keep saying Wilds. Worlds.
This is Wild.
This is Wilds.
Worlds is the world is the old one. Just one world.
World. Yeah.
I believe Wilds is this one.
Yes.
Yeah. Rise was in between on
Yes.
Switch. Anyway, right? Rise.
Yep.
Whatever. Too many things are called Rise.
Yeah.
No, but like, it made me want a pro because it looked so good.
Yeah.
Not because it wasn't performing well, but because I was like,
Sand coming in.
dude, like there was a part where I was like fighting against, I think it was the Balahara, maybe, or there was a Balahara, there was a Dushagama falling into a quicksand thing, and there's like lightning and sandstorm happening and like the moonlight and like
insane.
it was like epic.
Yeah.
I was like this is like something out of Lord of the Rings or like a huge epic moment, you know.
Plays best on IMAX.
Yeah,
dude.
for real. I was like, this
100%.
is sick as hell. And then later on, there was a flood happening. And what's so cool is the areas, they feel different. Like when there's a flood happening, it just looked very different. Things were like really, really crazy. And like these things, my impression is like these were kind of started because it's early days. They were kind of started by a story cutscene,
Yeah.
But my impression is that this stuff can kind of just start happening during a fight. I'm not sure how completely accurate that is, but like the areas do shift.
That's cool.
And I'm curious to see like on a longer, full when you're actually getting to play it. I'm wondering if it'll have an impact on your like strategy. If it like, because I think the animals get a little more riled up. Maybe
That's cool.
I'm curious to see what impacts the weather has on the monsters and your fighting.
Like, can zones change permanently, and that'll change like the animals that live there, like changing the ecosystem?
I wonder. I mean, there was a thing. I won't really, without getting specific. Like one of the weather events did change an area in the story.
Cool.
I imagine once you're through the story stuff, like in the end game repeating stuff, that will be static, maybe.
Yeah.
Or the changes will be impermanent, or like switch back and forth or something like that. But like that is an element narratively.
Sure.
Let's see what else. The outfits are great. The weapons are cool. The weak points is very good.
Kneecaps.
On the spider, the legs individually would have weak points. And like you get a little reticle and you aim, at least with the insect glaive, you aim near it and you hit R1 or whatever, R2, R1, and if you're anywhere kind of generally near the weak point, it'll give it to you.
Generous.
Which is nice, but it
yeah.
feels good. The impacts feel really good.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember if this was a complaint from early footage that it felt a little like the impacts were like gone, or like it didn't feel quite as like squishy or like visceral.
Yeah.
That if that was ever a complaint, or maybe I'm misremembering, but that's not a problem anymore. Like
Cool.
it felt very good. It
Cool.
felt really good.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any other questions about Monster Hunter Wilds? Character creator was great. Everything looked good.
One of those games where it's just so obviously great. It's just like, just waiting. I'm just waiting.
That's my thing. Is like I'm here to bring you the good news about Monster Hunter Wilds. Yeah, anyway, Monster Hunter Wilds is going to be sick.
Yes.
And it comes out in not too long.
Yeah.
I am very excited.
The hunts are going to be going down.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to be a Monster Hunter channel for like 3 straight months.
Yeah, fully.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Gear up for that. Stick around if you aren't already signed up. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Otherwise, if you want to support us more, check out patreon.com/easyallies. Probably the best way to support is $5 or up. You get in on the Discord. You get in all kinds of fun stuff on there. They do like Discord top 10s that we read on the podcast. We have a podcast every week. Yeah, check all that out. It really helps the channel. It really helps us. That's how we survive as humans. So thank you all for watching and supporting if you choose to. Tell your friends. And we will be back with more Monster Hunter Wilds, baby.
So much more.
You better believe it. All right. We'll see you later. Bye.
Another quest down.